just about the intimacy as far as you're concerned. It's a physical thing, and there is possibly an assumption that this is what the relationship is about on the part of the lady involved, and it might not be the case. It
Yeah,
might,
I mean,
it might be something else.
assumption, it might not be the case unless she asks. That is this relationship that we're having right now, is this based on this just sexual?
Mm-hmm.
Is this what you want with me? And yes, it might be. Two, he might be just getting to know her. And if this is what she's willing to deal with, these boundaries of his, if she's willing to deal with that as he gets to know her, then that, I mean, that's on her, don't you think? She's the one who's accepting that.
Yeah. And you were saying earlier today that you've been on the other side of this, where there's assumptions being made about you, and you would have appreciated it being spoken out, and because the person didn't communicate with you exactly what was going on inside their thoughts,
right.
you were acting blind. You weren't deliberately being uncaring or unkind or uncompassionate towards the other person's thoughts. It's just that you didn't know.
No, I didn't know. I mean, I had a guy that I once had an affair with, and he had been my friend for quite a while. And this was a while back. But, you know, and we would get together for intimacy. And although I respected him and loved him as a friend, we also had a lot of words exchanged prior to us getting together. And at that time of my life, I didn't know how, and I wasn't capable to really express my emotions. And I still had that fear inside me of asking questions, because I would, you know, how that other person felt, because, you know, I still had that fear of being rejected. And although he was giving hints of what he wanted, I also heard things like, I don't know where this relationship is going to end up, or I don't know the future of this relationship, but, you know, and those subtle hints that to him might have been huge, but to me it wasn't clear enough. He didn't ask me specifically that, you know, he wanted this relationship to be more than what we had physically. Mm-hmm. And that has to really be articulated between two people. I mean, what we have problem with in our human society is that we can express ourselves so intimately and share such intimate moments with someone naked, but we are unable to communicate with each other what we want from the other person due to fear. And most of that is due to fear of rejection. And we've already made assumption in our mind from past conversation with that person on what they might be feeling about us. So we go on torturing ourselves.
Yeah, I think that's the problem, isn't it? The assumption that we know what's going on in someone else's thoughts about us. And the reason why we think that is because we know what's going on in our thoughts about us.
Yeah.
And
we prejudge people.
Yes, yes.
It's unfair by the conversations we'd had with them in the past about different situations. And we prejudge them thinking that that's how they see our relationship.
And the other thing about being human is that we tend to grow as human beings. We have new experiences as time goes by, and we change our minds. So just because we said something a while ago doesn't necessarily mean that that's how we feel about it now.
Well, it applies to that person. It doesn't mean it applies to that relationship or that scenario or that person.
Or that time in our lives.
Or that time in our lives. I mean, unless she have asked him specifically, I know you've said before that you don't like to be seen in public with other women. Is that how you feel about this relationship? Do you want to keep our intimate relationship private? Do you not want to be seen in public with me? Do you not want to take a walk with me down the street? Do you not want to, that kind of scenario? So I understand both sides. I understand what she's feeling, but I also understand what I'm assuming he might be feeling. Again, unless she speaks to him and make that concern specifically about her and him, everything else is an assumption, and she's just torturing herself.
Yeah.
And
I
again,
think so.